Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We are now going to kindle the lights of Shabbat. Sue's going to light these lights representing the partnership of divine love of two individuals and also Israel and the divine. So as she makes 3 circles around the candles, bringing order into the universe, we're going to bring that light into our spirit and our beings. The candle blessing is on page 120. So when she lights that, focus on the flame, that divine light that's within the candles and within us. And we make those 3 circles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Turn next to someone and say Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Mazal tov. And now I'm going to call forward Jeremy and Heather, who are going to come forward. Jeremy, why don't you grab that microphone over there? Heather, you can grab that other microphone and come on up. And they're going to help lead Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How wonderful it is for brothers and sisters to dwell together. And you can find this on page 128. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, ya la la ya la 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 la. Hine Matov, Hine Matov, ya la la ya la 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 la. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Thank you, both of you. That's your co-op. You will be hearing more of them as the weeks go by. And they are both avid students in the Hebrew meditation class and going forward, preparing to have bar and bat mitzvah at one point in time after Jeremy has his official conversion. So we are going to now move to Shalom Aleichem on page 142. 142. And please tune in on the 3rd Friday of May. Either be here in person to support everyone. It is going to be a Sisterhood-led Shabbat service. Jeremy and Heather, possibly Stacy, Dan will be singing, leading prayers. Hilda will be doing the Hebrew, and Pat will be leading the service. So please join them. Shalom Aleichem, 142. Yes.
Shalom,
Lecha Dodi. I will do verses 1, 5, and 9, and you'll rise and turn and face the door, welcoming in the Sabbath bride, much like we did with Sue. Are you ready? Please be seated. And now, if you will turn in your books and let us read on the bottom of page 145. And then we will do the Hatzik Kaddish and prepare for the Baruch Hu, our official call to worship. Page 145. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time. Even at unlikely times and through unlikely places, there is no place on earth without the presence. Hatzik Kaddish on page 144. Yikadav, yikadav shnei rabba, ve'almad yivrach yirtei v'yamlik machutei, v'chayechon v'yom echon, v'chayerecho v'eit Yisrael, v'gala, v'gala, v'vizmahan karivim erech, Yehi shnei rabba mevarach, le'alam lo me'amaya, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitvar, v'yitvam, v'yitnasei, v'yithadar, v'yithaleh, v'yithalah, shemei l'kedushat, v'yichu le'elah, min kol b'chata, v'shirata, tishvechata, v'nechemata, da'amiran, be'alma, v'yimerah, Amen. And the Baruch Hu can be found on page 146. Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya Mariv Aravim is on page 148. But first, let's read at the bottom of 149 together. This is an hour of change, and within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bivaro ma'ariv arabim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, v'buna meshaneh yitim, u'machalif et hasmanim, u'misader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia pirsuno, v'royom v'layla, v'lel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, u'mavir yom, u'mevir layla, u'mavdil ben yom u'ben layla, Adonai Sabaoth Shemo El Chai v'Kayam, Tamidim lo koleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai Amariv Aravim. And now we're going to go to the Shema on page 152 and 153. If you'd like to stand for the Shema, please do, or if you want to stay seated. But I'd like everyone to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Center yourselves on your breath and on the divine within you as we witness the oneness of God. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema The Ve'ahavta can be found on page 154. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha v'chol meodecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher Anochi metzavecha hayom ha'levavecha v'shidantam levanecha v'dibartam v'shitecha v'beitecha v'velechlecha v'nerech v'v'shokbecha v'kumecha v'b'shartam le'od ha'yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha v'chtavtam Al mezuzot beitecha u'v'hisharecha leman tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hiyatem kedoshim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem ne'eretz mitzrayim lihyot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem. And now I'm going to call forward Heather, who's going to sing Michamocha, with me, the prayer on page 158. If you'd like to get up and dance around the room, please do, or you can stand in your seats by your pew and shake your tushy a little bit and get that Ruach Elohim, the Spirit of God, moving around. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, and that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. There is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together, and that's what we do here. And that's what Sue and Duke did, both of them, Sue and Duke. They just held those hands together, and we blessed them and their love and those rings, and we walked together, yad b'yad, hand in hand. And that's what we do here at Temple Emet, and that's what we do with each other. I'll let you find your, oh, you're moving on to the book. Excellent. Okay, see? She's going forward into the universe of the divine. Mishkan tefillah, she's going forward. She feels commanded to. There we go. Are we ready? Michal Malka! In this room. So now if you'll turn to page 162, we have the Shamaru. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. And what happened once upon a time happens all the time. The Shamaru. For the Amidah, page 164, and it continues on the next few pages. And make sure that you now, since we are after Pesach, do the insert for summer. And it feels like summer today, doesn't it? Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yadi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei בקנה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מחלקל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, ריחמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך ממית, ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, בחיי המתים, אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום, יהללוך סלע, ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. Please be seated. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. This week is a double parsha. We get a double portion of manna, a double portion of wisdom. Our Hebrew meditation class got their fourth letter, the Dalet, for knowledge, that oneness that we have of mind, body, and spirit when we have the knowledge that comes to us from the divine that's within us and around us. Sometimes this parsha, Tazria-Metzora, it can be translated not exactly accurately, but basically what you'll find is that it'll be called leprosy. But it's really much more than that. It is an affliction, which, by the way, at the time, physicians, they didn't deal with this. This was the high priest. They took care of it because it was more of a disease or dis-ease of the soul. It was so ravaging that it could affect first the home, then the clothes, and then if it wasn't addressed, the person. People who were afflicted were required to be removed, separated, and stay outside the camp until they were fully cured. And then even the house, if it was afflicted, that had to be inspected thoroughly to determine whether it could be fixed, repaired, or did it need to be torn down. Afflictions wear on us. And they, in a sense, tear us down. We become weary, physically, emotionally, and spiritually weakened. And yet maybe that period of time of being set apart gives us the opportunity to take stock, to heal, and yes, then to ultimately rebuild. Many draw a parallel to COVID in this parsha. We were all globally struck down, we were removed from one another, and then we had a choice to either self-destruct or rebuild, refresh, re-energize, renew. Sadly, there are so many, if you've looked around and you've seen this, there are a lot of people that have come out of COVID more broken than when they went in. And some just don't know how to behave anymore. Have you seen people out there? They just don't know how to behave anymore. They've forgotten. And there are so many people with mental health issues. It really gave everyone the opportunity to either completely fall apart or say, you know what, I'm going to take stock, I'm going to look at what I need to do, what I need to repair, and then I'm going to rebuild. Some found themselves. They connected to their own selves, they went online, they met new people, and they got married during COVID and outside of COVID. Now there's so many weddings going on. Some were able to focus on relationships, reconnect with family, or connect with family that they had actually been disenfranchised from. The overriding and most popular parallel of this parsha is the connection that is drawn between the parsha itself and the effects of Lashon Hara. There's many here that love this topic. Gossip, evil, speech, negativity. Anybody do that? It is said that Lashon Hara hurts 3 people, one at a time. The person who speaks it, the person who hears it, and most particularly the person that is gossiped about. Katya Bulletin states on this that death and life are in the power of the tongue. Harmful speech, malicious gossip, insensitivity to others is pervasive and spreading virally, infecting minds with a boomerang effect. And then it eventually comes back to negativity in one's own life. What we put out there, we get back. Shattered relationships are often the remnants of thoughtless, stinging words. Even if the words spoken are true, the impact can wind up being exactly the same. And then the aftermath can continue to adversely impact future generations. The double Torah portion of Tazria-Metzora expounds on this. The Hebrew term Metzora is actually someone who is afflicted with sara'at, and it refers to the spreader of the slander, or one who actually brings about harm with his or her speech. Have you ever been on the receiving end of that? Have you ever been the victim of that? Have you ever been the perpetrator of that? Not to be overlooked is the comprehensive way that sara'at was treated. The Torah recognized that this was a physical manifestation of a spiritual cause. The Torah's treatment of sara'at integrated a spiritual treatment to effect a positive outcome. It treated the entire person, not just the illness. The Torah's approach was way ahead of its time. Maimonides, the 12th century physician and Torah commentator, understood how the mind and the body and the soul were all intrinsically connected. He taught that healing is predicated on a patient actually understanding the integrated factors contributing to his or her illness. Subsequently, appropriate treatment, including making the necessary lifestyle changes, could then occur. Making appropriate changes in ourselves clears away the dis-ease that afflicts our soul and ultimately shifts the outcome, enabling us to hopefully emerge whole, more whole. Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs relays a story that parallels this parsha. He talks of a therapist who, by finding a remedy for stuttering, may have actually hit upon a possible cure for sara'at, or all negativity that can plague us, the power of praise. Lena Rustin was a speech therapist specializing in helping stammering children. She founded the Michael Palin Center for Stammering in London, and she had a very unique approach to her work. She focused on relationships. She worked with parents, not just the children. Her view was that to cure a stammer, and remember, Moses stammered, she had to change the entire family dynamic, the whole environment of the family. Families tend to create an equilibrium. If a child stammers, then every single person in the family adjusts, shifts around it. Therefore, for the child to lose the stammer, all of the relationships within the family have to then be renegotiated. And not only must the child change, but so must everyone else. And remember, this is true of all illness, all dysfunction that can happen in families. They have to commit themselves to the following ritual, and this is what she suggests. So I want you to think about this, if you could do this in your own life. Once a day, usually at the end of the day, they must each praise one another for something that the other has done that day, no matter how small. An act, a word, a gesture that was kind or sensitive or generous or thoughtful. The praise must be focused on that one simple act and not generalized. It must be genuine, it must come from the heart, and the other person must learn to accept the praise. Sometimes is it difficult to accept praise? This is all that they had to do, and it only takes a minute or two. But what would happen is that it would really begin to correct and revolutionize the family and help the individual on a day-to-day basis, but this needed to be done every single day. Change at a very basic level is challenging. One must create an atmosphere that encourages change and makes it unthreatening. How? The answer is praise. She told the families that they must catch each member doing something right and say so specifically, positively, and sincerely. Every member of the family, but especially the parents, had to learn to give and receive praise. So how does this relate to our Parsha? One of our ancient sages, actually several of them, have been quoted as talking and debating and saying that Sara'at was a punishment for Lashon Hara, evil, hateful, derogatory speech. And that Miriam, Moses' sister, who spoke negatively about her brother, was struck down by Sara'at for 7 days. They also pointed to the incident when at the burning bush, Moses spoke negatively about the Israelites, and his hand was briefly affected by Sara'at. The sages spoke more dramatically about Lashon Hara than any other offense. They said that it was as bad as committing all 3 cardinal sins: idolatry, incest, and murder. Rabbi Sachs goes on to say, so it's clear, don't gossip, don't slander, don't speak badly about people. Judaism has a rigorous and detailed ethics of speech because it believes that life and death are in the power of the tongue. God spoke, and the world came into being. Judaism is a religion of the ear more than the eye, of words rather than images. God created the natural world with words, and we create or we damage the social world and our relationships with words. So Lena Rustin's rule of praise is the opposite of Lashon Hara. It's Lashon HaTov, good, positive, encouraging speech. According to Maimonides, again, to speak in praise of people is the command to love your neighbor as yourself. Her work has profound spiritual implications. It had nothing to do with gossip, but without intending to, she had discovered one of the most powerful antidotes to Lashon Hara ever invented. She taught people to develop the habit of speaking well of one another. She taught them to praise daily and specifically and sincerely. Anyone who uses her technique for a prolonged period will be cured of Lashon Hara. It is the most effective antidote. And what is more, her technique transforms relationships, saves marriages, heals what Lashon Hara harms, evil speech destroys relationships, good speech mends them. This works not only in marriages and families, but also in communities, organizations, and businesses. So in any relationship that matters to you, deliver praise daily. Singing and praising the good in people makes them better people, makes you a better person, and strengthens the bond between you. It is really life-changing. In a few minutes, we're going to be installing 2 new boards and giving away President's Awards. All of these volunteers are devoted individuals who spend their valuable resource of time giving and supporting our temple, our community, our congregation. They are examples of what it means to be good and to spread positivity in the world. And for this, we not only celebrate, but we praise them. Too often, work is done tirelessly behind the scenes, and many have absolutely no clue as to how much work it took to manifest the magical moments of joy and community that we all share. Let us acknowledge and praise these righteous individuals for lifting up our community with their good deeds and their tikkun olam. As we go through the Shabbat and B'lan, let us look for something that we can zero in on and praise in one another. If not on a daily basis, as requested and prescribed, then at least as often as we can. Because in so doing, we will flip that narrative and will flip that switch on all that is negative to the positive. Then our world, and maybe sometime the entire world, will no longer be afflicted, and instead raised up and made whole. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom. So now I'm going to call up our president, Diana Wolf, and our Sisterhood president, Pat Alexander. They're going to come up to the bima, and they are going to do a dance. Okay. We did that with the Richamoko. Wow, we can dance some more. They're going to come forward, and we are going to bless these boards. And Pat's going to come up.
At the time of our annual congregation meeting, we will be introducing our outgoing board as well as our new boards.
But first, right now, we would like to ask every president, both of the Board of Trustees and the Sisterhood, every past president, to please rise so that we can acknowledge you and praise you.
Wendy Wengrow, Mark, Sandra Reichert.
The Sisterhood Board and the full board past presidents. Terry is watching online.
Hi, Terry.
Thank you for your service. All righty, now they'll be seated, and the new boards will be called up. Sisterhood and the full board. Sunny, she was there. I didn't say the names, Diana did.
What? No. She said, we didn't do the Sisterhood people, but that's okay.
Didn't they stand up?
They stood
okay,
up.
Let's just do it again. It's like a rerun of the Torah. Okay, would all of the presidents, okay, so first let's have the presidents of the temple stand up.
Again.
It's a rerun. It has extra merit. Thank you for your service, and thank you to Terry.
And thank you for the Sisterhood presidents. Please stand.
Yes.
Let's acknowledge you and praise you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. One did double duty. You're up. You can
So
stay up if you want.
we have Sunny Moss, we have Wendy Wingrove, and we have Sandra Reichert.
Thank you.
And many of these people are doing double duty.
Yes.
And today you'll see some of them doing double duty again.
Yes.
That's right.
And double duty, speaking of that, we're going to have to light this Shabbat candle over here as you call them
It's
forward.
very windy. Okay.
I know.
So will the Board of Trustees, the new Board of Trustees, please stand and come up and line yourselves up in front of the bima.
On which side? This side.
Amy, you need to join them. That side, yes. You will get my thank you to the existing board who has stayed in place for 3 years because of COVID when I see them on the 27th.
Me as well.
And the Sisterhood board.
They stayed in for 3 years too.
Sisterhood board?
So can we have the new Sisterhood board please come forward? We're missing a few. Where's Judy? And where's Robin? They're probably
in the kitchen.
They are.
After all of the festivities we've had.
Where's Fran?
Okay, so Fran, Judy, who else?
We have,
Girls, Robin Brenner.
Heather, too.
Heather's right there. But
Okay,
Robin, Fran, and Judy need to come forward.
Yes, they do.
Okay? And all of you can kind of squish in a little bit so that you can be seen by all the cameras. There we go. We have more joining us. Judy, Robin, come forward. Sisterhood board is being installed.
Come on, Fran and Robin.
Come on, girls.
And Judy, you can stand in the middle because you're both.
Okay. Okay, come on, girls. Come on. Squeeze in here. You can be front and center. Okay. Nope, they don't want to be front and center.
I would like to tell you that Marianne is not well, and that's why she is not here tonight. She and Tony are both sick.
Oh dear.
But we will on the third Friday in June, when we celebrate our outgoing president, we will install Marianne as the official incoming president at that time. Third Friday in June.
tough.
Well, it's got to be the last one because July 1st. Oh, we could do the first Friday. We'll talk about it offline.
We'll talk about this offline.
Okay.
All right, we are going to now install both
Yes, we are.
boards. Right
Both
now.
boards. So, if you'd all like to turn 3/4 and face us, and you out there in the cyberspace world or out there in the pews, take a look at these people. Turn 3/4 so your backs are not to the, unless you want your backside to the camera. Excellent, good example. Fran is 3/4, Heather's 3/4.
Will the mathematicians among you raise your hand?
We have engineers, okay. All right, let us all focus. Our minds, our hearts, and our spirits. And take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. In Genesis, God says, it is not good, lo tov, for man to be alone. We cannot lead alone. We cannot live alone. To be alone is not good, lo tov. For our board of trustees, a leader should never try to be all things to all people. Bert Belzer, one of our founders, took me aside one day and gave me a real strong lesson on that. Said, just can't please everyone, but we all do our best here. A leader should be content to be what he or she is. Leaders must have the strength to know what they cannot be if they are to have the courage to be themselves. Culture changes, the world does not stand still. So we will find that what worked a decade ago, and we're 13 years old at Temple Emet, it's our B'nai Mitzvah year, will not possibly work now. So it is easy to get it wrong and hard, challenging to get it right. But these individuals work tirelessly, long board meetings, lots of conversation, lots of hoo-ha, and everybody gives of their heart and their soul and their spirit so devotedly to expand upon what we started, what we built, and to be able to carry us forward into the future. And Sisterhood supports us in all of that. It is the ladies of Emet that are there for us whenever we need them, that are there for us when we want to eat, drink, and be merry, which is all the time. Yes, is there something that you would like to? Okay, so you're getting some stage directions. You're supposed to look at that camera so the people at home can see you. Okay, there we go. All right. It is important to know that to be a leader, you do not need to have a crown or robes of office. All you need to do is to write your chapter in the story, to do deeds that heal some of the pain of this world, and to act so that others become a little better for having known you. Our sisters do this. To live so that through you our ancient covenant with God is renewed in the only way that matters in life. Moses' last testament to us at the very end of his days, when his mind might so easily have been turned to death, chose life. And that's what we do here every day. I think that we have an excellent example in Pat Alexander, and she will be, as she becomes immediate past president of Sisterhood, she will be leading a lot of Tikkun Olam, Repair of the World, and she will tell you about that in her sermonette on the third Friday of May, when she's leading the service.
You give me some of your notes from the last sermon.
Sure, whatever sermon you want, or we can just add some new ones. You tell me what you want and I will provide it, because I just live to be of service. So, we want to bless all of you with the light of the divine. We want to bless your families for sharing you with us. We want to thank God and bless God and put that praise out so that it reflects back upon us, each and every one of us, so that we can use that energy, that light, to help our community and elevate our world with the light of the divine. So, we're going to do the Birkat Kohanim for all of you, and then we're going to sing the Shehechianu. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'ish merecha, Yaher Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yisem lecha shalom. Kein Yiratzon, may it be God's will. And now the Shehechianu. Baruch atah Adonai you, everyone. You may be seated. And like Diana said at the annual congregational meeting on Thursday, each person will be acknowledged for their particular post. Thank you. And now we're going to shift gears, as we so often do. In Judaism, we have our high moments. We know that we have our moments that we are broken in body and spirit and in need of a refuah shlema. Please turn to page 371. And we would like everyone to take a moment to truly be present. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. We want to offer our prayers when we have a group of 10 or more. We have a minyan, and our prayers have great intention, power, kavanah. And at this time, Roger Peterson, Lisa Peterson, their daughter Rochelle, she has cancer. And she's 34 years old. And they ask that their community, this community, specifically send prayers and positivity and light for the recovery of their daughter. She had some surgery, something was removed from her neck, and they're doing all kinds of tests to see what can be done. So they are very beloved in our community, and we wish them, I've seen her grow over the last 20 plus years, and so we wish them light, love, that the divine, the Shekinah, will be with them and lift them up on their journey as they go through this, so that she may have a refuah shlema, a complete and full healing, as well as our loved ones that we think of in our minds and our hearts at this time, that are weak in body and weak in spirit, those here in this room, those in our community, and those around the world, as we sing the Misha Barak. So take another deep breath in and a deep breath out. Page 371. To the divine, for we know that we've discussed Terry Schneier, our immediate past president, which soon Diana will become that coveted role. But she had 2 separate possible cancers. One in her breast, she had 3 spots, and then also possibly in her colon, and it's okay to share because she would like everyone to pray for her. But it turns out the ones in her breast are okay. So we're grateful for that, and we say Baruch Hashem, and we've been praying for her. And so now she's just waiting for what they're going to do about the other to find out. So prayer does work. It has power. We have power to shift things, sometimes, if it is in God's plan. So we say Baruch Hashem, and Terry's watching online, and she will be with us at our next service on Cinco de Mayo, when we have wonderful Mexican food that Judy is spearheading, and we will then, after the service, have cerveza and margaritas, as is our custom. So now if you'll please rise and turn to the bottom of 586 for the Eleno as the ark is open. Bottom of 586, and then we're going to continue over the next few pages. Bottom paragraph. Eleno l'shaveach ladon hakol, l'teikinu l'le'aser bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamona, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachadim u'modim, l'fnei melech malchei hamelachim hakadosh baruch hu, shehu notei shamayim ve'yoser haaretz, u'moshe yikaro b'shamayim ima'al, v'shechinatu zo, v'shechinatu zo, v'gom hei meronim, hu Eloheinu ein od, emet malkeinu efes ulato, kakatu v'torato, v'yadat hayom, v'yadat hayom v'shevota el vavecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, v'shamayim ima'al, ve'al haaretz, mitachat einod, 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 v'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, l'melech al kol haaretz, v'yom hahu, yihyeh Adonai echad, v'shemo, v'shemo, v'shemo echad. Please be seated. And now we're going to move on to those who have passed most recently and in past years, page 598. If you have lost someone in the last 7 days, would you please rise and say your loved one's name in the last 7 days? If you have lost someone in the Shloshim period, the last 30 days, would you please rise and say their name? And our love and prayers are with you. And with you as well. If you have lost someone in the last 11 months, please rise and say their names. Go ahead, Diana.
My husband's husband. My sister, Muriel Nachman, and Shirley Tyler, a friend.
And go ahead, Bob.
My cousin Ernie
Sandra.
My cousin Philip Rothschild.
Natalie.
Jay Spencer. Stan Tobias.
Spencer. Keith Reddick.
Sorry. Judy.
My cousin Michael.
And we have over here Amy.
My father, Tony Wolf.
Anyone else? Sunny?
I have another person, Elaine Abrams.
Sorry, here. Anybody else? Now, if you're observing the yard site, the anniversary of a loved one's death, please raise your hand, especially if you're already standing. Diana.
Cora Walter, my sister-in-law, and my aunt, Bertie Milsall.
Join Bob.
My mother, Ruth Roban.
Bob. And, okay, Judy in the back. Go ahead, Susan.
My mother, Helen Steinberg.
And Sandra and Mark.
And Francine, on the very same day, my second father, Joshua.
Mark.
My grandmother, Esther Meissner.
Anybody else? Together we'll rise as a community, page 598 for the Warner's Cottage. I'll raise my hand. When I say V'yimaru, and you can say Amen if you're not following along in the text. And that means I agree, may it be so. So if you believe that your loved ones should be lifted up high, but especially the divine for the gift of their love and light in your life, you will say, Amen. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, Be'elmad yivrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, V'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayeh l'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman pari v'imru. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam v'lomei amaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei Kedusha v'rehu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, ta'amiran be'alama v'imru. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Oseh shalom imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May God, who is the creator of everything seen and unseen, love and life and family as well, grant peace to those who are mourning and grieving at this time, peace to those who are suffering around the world with loss, lifting up our entire community with love and light. May we then say, Amen. Please be seated, and now our president will come forward with some announcements and the presidential awards. You want to stay down there? That's fine. Okay. And I'll hand you the, you want me to hand you the bags or hand them to them as you say them? Okay. Ooh, okay. Okay.
I can't see you. The lights are blinding me. Oh well.
Live in the light of the Lord.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
everyone.
Shalom.
Welcome to all of you who are here in our building and those at home watching on our live stream. Thanks, Mark Tannen, for your work on the live stream, as always. We just shared a supper hosted by Rabbi Cantor Dietrich, Sisterhood, and me, for the outgoing Board of Trustees, and Sue and Duke's 60th anniversary recommitment ceremony. Mazel tov, you guys.
Woo, mazel tov.
So glad everything worked out, and it was so beautiful. Thank you so much to Heather Sun for helping to plan and order the meal. You guys are working so hard. I really appreciate it. Thank you to our wonderful Rabbi Cantor Didi for beautiful service as usual. Thank you to our talented musical director, Dan Spector, and Hilda on harp and Amy on baritone. And as I told you, Marianne is not well, but hopefully she will be well again soon. We will end today with an Oneg Shabbat. We haven't done that in a long time. With wine and juice and challah, and a beautiful cake sponsored by Sisterhood to thank their outgoing board and to celebrate Sue and Duke's recommitment ceremony.
And a fruit plate for those who don't want sugar.
We never stop celebrating. That is our mission in life. Well, now it is time to present the 2022 President's Awards to 5 very special people. Will Sonny Moss please come up? Sonny, what I said in the tribute folder, and I hope you all have it, is, how can we ever thank you enough for your wonderful financial support? We are very blessed and grateful. You are truly a woman of valor.
Woo, an Asia Kyle, woo-hoo, yay. Thank you, Sonny.
And now, will Lynn Cantu please come up? I need another hand. Sorry about that. Lynn, every time we think about all that you do for Temple Emet, we feel so humbled and honored. How lucky we are to have you. Thank you so much. You enrich our community by everything you do.
Thank you so much, Lynn. Thank you.
Marsha Crabtree. Marsha, who knew that when you took over programming that it would change the landscape for Temple Emet. Your passion and diligence has been remarkable, and we cannot thank you enough.
Thank you so much.
Pat Alexander. Pat, you have been such an outstanding Sisterhood president. Nothing, not even your surgery, has stopped you from leading our wonderful sisters to providing much-needed support to our temple community. You leave an amazing legacy. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
As you know, Roger Peterson is not here to accept his award tonight, so Dee Dee will accept it for him.
It is an honor and a blessing.
It says, Roger, you humbly work miracles every week with your meditation class. So many people need it and love it. We cannot thank you enough for your willingness to provide this mitzvah for our community.
So Yasher Koach to Roger, to all of you. Thank you, Roger, I know you're watching. This is really a blessing for all that you do, and may the energy that you share in uplifting so many with meditation now uplift you and your family as well.
And you all have the tribute folder. Now I have to say something, because this is Diana the teacher. We had a date that was a deadline. And I cannot believe how many people decided to make tributes 24 hours before they were due. Now, I was the one typing them. It was positively not bad. For future reference, if we say we have a deadline, can you please try to make the deadline? Of course, I won't be doing it. It'll be somebody else. And they'll be screaming and yelling and saying, why is this coming in on the last day? Thank you for your tributes. I appreciate them. It helped us make money that we needed, and I'm very grateful. Next time, do it on time, please.
Thank you.
Dan's Zoom meditation, Dan's Zoom music class is April 26th at 7:30 p.m. Got it, see? Roger's Zoom meditation, I hope it will continue on.
He's doing it Monday, okay.
Good. Mark Tannen's Jewish Legends Zoom classes are every other Tuesday at 7. I attended for the first time. It was so good. I was really impressed. Thank you, Mark. And Rabbi Dee Dee's Hebrew class on Thursdays at 6. We'll not meet this Thursday. Guess why? We have a congregation meeting. So that's at 7 o'clock.
So that means everyone has to come to the annual congregation.
Please. The slate of officers has been sent out for your approval, as well as the minutes for last year. And by the way, that's why we were able to install the board, because the approvals came in online, okay? But we will do another approval at the...
It's just like in the Torah, it's a rerun, just like we just keep doing it again and
So
again.
plan, please, to attend our meeting. It will be the state of the temple, will be presented at that time, if I'm still standing.
You will be.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you, Diana. Thank you so much. So now we're going to sing our closing prayer, which I'll let the band choose. What do you guys want? Adon Olam, Oseh Shalom, what would you like? Oh, I think it's Adon Olam, page 625. Adon Olam. Page 625. Oh, wait, Crystal. Oh, hold on one second. Hold on. We have a very special. Pat. Keep playing. It's good. As we celebrate the Lord and Master of the universe, we celebrate the 2 presidents that will be outgoing. Crystal's going to come forward. Thank you, Crystal. Diana, come forward. Pat, come forward. Come stand right here. I know. Here, I'll give you the microphone in case you find words that are meant to be said. So, look, here, I'll give you a microphone too, because I know you guys like to talk. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Crystal.
Diana, as you know, Mary Ann can't be here, so I'm in her stead. For Mary Ann and for the entire temple, we all want to thank you so much for your devotion, your dedication, and your love for this temple. The last 5 years, you've held us together, and we want to thank you so much.
Woo! Thank you so much.
I know we're not done yet, but that was, thank you, that was very nice of you. It was my great honor and pleasure to serve as president of this amazing congregation.
Pat? From the new president, myself, to the outgoing president, you've been a miracle for us the last 3 years, and you've really held us together, and we all want to thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Let's sing Mazel Tov, Simen Tov and Mazel Tov, because we're so grateful for their achievements. Simen Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov and Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov and Simen Tov. Yay, Lanu, last time. Simen Tov, Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov and Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov and Simen Tov. Yay, Lanu, Mazel Tov. Thank you, Yasher Poem. Thank you for your service. And Crystal, thank you for flagging me down. Thank you.
I want to say one more thing.
Of course.
Nothing is done by one person alone. We all have help. And I can't thank all of you enough.
Very well said. I couldn't either. I mean, the board that I've had has been for the last 3 years too, and they've all been amazing. So we thank everybody for all your help and all your love for what you do here.
Thank you, girls. Thank you. Thank you, Crystal, so much. And thank you for speaking on behalf of Mary Ann as well. Crystal will be out of town, so we wanted to make sure to do it tonight, and I'm glad that she was flagging me down back there. So now, Adon Olam, page 625. Thank you to the Divine for bringing us all together to celebrate love, life, marriage, commitment, community. Thank you to everyone who worked so tirelessly on our dinner and our oneg, the first one since COVID that we're actually having. Woohoo! Thank you to our wonderful band and everyone that participated. Thank you to both our Temple Board of Trustees and our Sisterhood, and of course to those who got the presidential awards. Thank you to Hashem. Adon Olam, Hashem. Shabbat month, 7 p.m., Stacy Morris will be doing Havdalah. So please come 7 p.m. to that program. Now, if everyone would come over to the table over here, we will do Kiddush and Motzi. Shabbat Shalom.